I would say probably more bullish than would be evidenced in the broad market. My belief is that the increase in the gold price that we've seen so far, as an example, has more to do with central bank buying and the weaponization of the US dollar than anything else. I think retail buying falls on as a consequence of people feeling the real bite of inflation, and as a consequence of that, developing a fear for the ability that they might have with fiat savings instruments to keep up with the deterioration in purchasing price of their savings, which has traditionally been the condition precedent for an increase in the gold price and ultimately the increased prices of gold equities. In terms of the broader commodities, Anthony, I think the real story is the ascent of humankind, if you will. There are over 8 billion of us on Earth, more every day. We've done a great job over the last 40 years, increasing the material well-being of the poorest of the poor, raising 1.5 billion people from dire poverty being merely poor. That isn't to suggest that there's a lot more to do. There is, and we're going to do it. As poor people get more money, the things that provide utility for them are things that are commodity intensive. When wealthy people or middle income people get more money, they generally buy services, which are not commodity intensive. But when poor people get more money, the stuff that increases their sense of well-being is often stuff that requires stuff. The great commodities boom that we saw as an example in the decade 2000 to 2010 really came about as a consequence of the urbanization of China, and that process is being repeated around the world. As a consequence of that, I am bullish about the whole industrial materials segment, with the sole caveat, no, that's not right, with two caveats. One caveat would be the increasing role of government and the increasing amount of government theft with regards to privately generated wealth, including in natural resources. And the other would be the threat of recession. I'm no economist, but I note that sort of once every decade and a half, something goes way wrong. And it's been a while since something went wrong. So I'm a little nervous about the specter of recession, which would delay rather than change my forecast of increased commodity consumption and reduced availability. Sorry for that long-winded answer, but you asked, so I answered.